After the recent student protests at the University of Missouri in response to racial mishandlings at the university, the conversation about Black students on white campuses has sparked national interest. Besides historically Black colleges and universities, most higher education institutions are predominantly white, with the Black and other minority students being represented at lower percentages than national population numbers. As Black student leaders across a variety of colleges organize and demand better of their schools, it makes one wonder why it took the extreme situation at Mizzou to be a catalyst for a change that was a long time coming. Here at GW, these issues of Black students being underrepresented and feeling left out of place also exist. Only 7% of undergraduate students are African American, compared to the 15% of Americans who are Black. This disparity can also be seen in the Latino population, with 7% of GW students identifying as Latino compared to being 17% of the U.S.'s population. It is important to note that many students identify with being Black and Latino, and could be counted towards both of these categories of race. Looking at faculty statistics, these numbers are even worse. Only 5% of professors are African American, and 4% are Latino. These statistics give an idea of the underrepresentation that Black students are faced with on this campus. Not only are Black students underrepresented within their peer groups, but also among those who teach and mentor them. Coupled with other smaller issues, such as the major student center being named after a known and vocal segregationist, it is easy to see how Black students could feel that they do not belong or are not welcome.
Tokenized, isolated, and uncomfortable.
Um, Interesting, bothersome, and entertaining.
It's hard, it's competitive, it's challenging, it's amazing, it's empowering.
Frustrating, difficult, different, tiring, unique, hard.
Challenging, eye-opening, and motivating.
Aggravated, rewarding, but however worthwhile. Because it, like being Black at a PWI is very telling of what it's going to be like in the real world, in the workplace. You're not going to be surrounded. Like most of the time, you're not going to be surrounded with a bunch of people who look like you, and so being Black at a PWI can prepare you very well for the real world.
Ostracizing, alone.
Difficult, exhausting, draining. I suppose that's a synonym. Interesting, a journey, and it can be a lot of fun.
Sometimes I don't feel like I belong on campus in classrooms. The teachers talk to me differently, like they baby talk to me, or the students talk to me as if I don't understand what's going on, or if I know less than them, even though we're in the same classes.
It's not that I feel like I don't belong. I think it's about finding a community within the university that you do belong to or that you do feel comfortable with. A lot of times it's hard to belong or fit in with other groups on campus, primarily white or other, because it's kind of exclusive. So if you find people that are inclusive and that do want to be with you, share the same values, opinions, and things like that, then you will find some place that you do belong and feel comfortable in.
Feel at times that I'm not welcome on this campus. I think that's most evident when responses are made from on part of the university. So to elaborate, like when an incident happens, like what happened in the last few weeks with Yale and Ithaca or the White Student Union page, the university's response is, in my opinion, wasn't that sufficient. And so I think in instances like that, I really don't feel welcome. So it's not so much like a sense of like not feeling welcome because of students, but rather administration that really doesn't, in my opinion, like sufficiently welcome me through their words and their language.
Pretty much on a daily basis in terms of looking around classrooms, our residential halls, floors. There are 4 black people on my floor. I don't even know if there are any more in the residential hall. But there's a certain sense of where are people who look like me on this campus just walking around in every sense of interaction, especially when a majority of the people who do look like you or who are black are service workers or VEX drivers or janitors.
No, because I pay for this. Like, I belong here as much as everyone else does.
I think my best coping mechanism is just the MSSC, truly. Obviously, with this being a predominantly white institution, there's not a lot of spaces that are reserved, so to speak, for minority students, specifically African Americans. But the MSSC is certainly one of them. And so for me to be able to come here and just sort of talk about the things that I'm most comfortable talking about with people who understand my opinions and where I'm coming from, that to me is really important, and that to me is a way that I cope best with being an African American on this campus.
I wouldn't use the word cope because honestly, I'm just being myself, and if someone or somebody doesn't like me for who I am, it really doesn't, like I said, it doesn't bother me. Just things you gotta live with.
I really don't let it bother me. I just kind of I'm be comfortable with being myself and really accept who I am and just go with that. And I just enjoy who I am.
I think it's very good that black students are starting to demand more from their universities, because if they don't start demanding more, nothing is going to change. And so the fact that students are now deciding, I'm tired of this, I want to make a change in my university, is very good for the future of other black students coming into PWIs.
I think it's great that black students are demanding more from the universities. We're at a very pivotal time right now in history, and there's a lot of momentum right now surrounding these issues. And so I think that students organizing around different issues and trying to get their voices to be heard is a great thing. And I think that change needs to come on just about every campus in America, because there are certainly issues on every campus, that need to be addressed, and this is the great time to do it. So
I feel that those recent events are extremely empowering, but it's also heartbreaking that those events have spiraled out of what they spiraled from, and by that I mean like threats, life-threatening threats from white students on their own campuses where they are supposed to feel like they're safe and they belong and they're there to achieve the same education that their white peers are achieving, and when that education is threatened by threats to their life, I just don't see how that is still occurring. Well, I do, because America is racist.
While I love being black, I really enjoy black culture. I sound like some appropriating girl, but anyway, no, I love being black because of black culture. I love my food. I love my music. I love the history, black history. Every aspect of blackness, I really truly embrace and love.
In spite of everything, I love being black because there's so much heart within the community.
We have rhythm, you're just the shit. You just gotta love your skin. You just gotta love where you come from and your roots. I love being black.